Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Like always, guys, any comments, any questions, any analysis you want to discuss, leave it down in the comment section or the live chat. We'll discuss in the stream. If you are new to the stream, please be sure to subscribe and drop a like. It does really help out the channel. And if you are new to the stream, go check out my Telegram. I do have a link to that in the description and also at the top of the chat. Well, I've left some comments there. So feel free to check it out. The link is there. And also, if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets, the broker I'm currently using. Feel free to check them out if you want to using the link. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Forex number one, like to see that. What is up? Hope you're good. Tashi, what is up? Good morning. Much as always, glad to have you on the stream. Forex AUSD, okay, we'll take a look, no problem. Yusuf, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Miko, what is up? Euro USD, we'll take a look. I've already short gold, NZD, AUD, GBP. Okay, so I assume those are the dollar pairs. So NZD USD, AUD pound USD. Nice, you're going all in on some shorts. We'll take a look at those pairs shortly. Seox, what is up? Morning, hope you're doing good. Leo, what is up? Morning. Jeremiah, pound AUD, we'll take a look. No problem. AK, what is up? Morning, hope you're doing good. Welcome. David, good morning, what is up? Sold AUD CAD, fingers crossed. Yeah, AUD CAD's looking interesting. I'll go take a look at that pair as well. I've got one eye on it. AJ, good evening. What is up? Stavros, I'm doing good. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good as well. Gold, we'll take a look. Jimmy, what is up? I was saying hello to the whole world here. But yeah, Jimmy, what is up? Hope you're doing good as well. So we'll go through some dollar pairs because that's kind of the talk of the town. Let me actually quickly just see what time we've got the CPI today. Just so I'm aware of what time that is coming out. Because yeah, we had some crazy dollar moves from NFP last week, and that's kind of spilled over into this week with JPY as well. JPY has been doing a crazy one at the start of this week so far. Okay, so CPI. Oh, interesting. 12:30. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think the clocks in the US have gone backwards or forwards. I'm not too sure. Or I'm not too sure which direction they've gone, but they've changed because the UK clocks, which is what I'm still working on, I'm still live 10 a.m. UK time, but I do realize that it's different for some other people around the world, and yeah, I'm not too much of a clock expert, so I know UK will be going either backwards or forwards in a couple of weeks, so that should correct itself. But yeah, we've got 12:30, which is UK time. When I do read out these times, they're all in relation to the UK. So we've got CPI news in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be interesting because dollar's been acting a little bit crazy. And I want to see what happens with the CPI. Now, I'm not really looking at any dollar pairs keen to place any trades on them at the moment. I was coming into the week to see if they can hold some resistance. I did throw out some charts for you guys to look at for a few dollar pairs. I think Euro USD, Pound USD, AUSD. So we'll go through those pairs shortly. But yeah, coming into the week, I was looking to sell those pairs. However, they've actually broken all those levels that I've been looking to sell from, apart from AUSD. USD CAD never quite got there, but we'll take a look at them now. So Pound USD coming into the week was looking for some sales. The market is in this kind of corrective descending channel, and all I'm looking to do is just continue this bearish structure. As long as we're getting those lower lows and lower highs, as long as we're getting that bearish structure, I'm looking to short. However, when we opened for this week, we kind of gapped up. You can see we gapped up there, and by the time I woke up, I think price was trading above here. So it was actually breaking above the trend line, and more importantly, breaking above this resistance here, and actually using it as support. And I think some people caught some buys on the retest of that structure there. So that completely invalidated the setup for me to go short. The fact that I want to short at this level, but price is trading above it, retesting as support, it's obviously a big red flag for a sell of the market. So since then, we've retested the structure and used that as a springboard to push further to the upside, and also breaking through some highs here on the left. If I map them out, you can see the market is taking out those highs there. This was our last lower high, which gave us that drive to the downside. The market is now broken through that structure. So I'm now a bit more neutral on pound USD. I can see some short-term buy opportunities. I'm not too sure how far it would go. We still do have that higher time frame double top there, which could still see price, form a major lower high somewhere and then roll over. Turn that white. So yeah, form a major lower high somewhere and potentially roll over again. That is a possibility. I'm not really interested in trading that right now until I see some confirmations. But yeah, I can see some short-term buys. So if the market can have a correction to the downside, maybe retest some structure here, I do think we'll probably get some nice short-term buys, maybe to come back and retest the consolidation down the left around 1.23, because we've had this huge sell-off to the downside for pound USD and the other dollar pairs, but it just was completely kind of faked out. The market dumped and then absolutely shot to the upside off the back of NFP the following day. So this tells me that this bearish move here was a bit of a fake move. Now we've collected, some liquidity going lower. Now prices use that to go higher. So now I'm expecting a correction and a continuation in the opposite direction. I'm not particularly too keen on trading that as of right now. Again, we've got 2 hours left before we got CPI. Things could look a lot different. We could still be pushing up a lot higher. We could be falling back over again. I'm going to be, analyzing the price action we get after CPI, and maybe we can get a better, make some better decisions of what we could do next as to actually trade pound USD. But yeah, in terms of my bias, since we are breaking through structure, I'm a bit more neutral, but I can still see a correction and a continuation higher. So there could be some short-term buys. Same for Euro USD as well. Euro USD is breaking through these highs too and using it as support. So this was the resistance I was looking for Euro USD to hold coming into the week. We were throwing some wicks into there at the end of last week. So I was looking for us to hold that coming into this week. But again, we broke through, got the retest. Our price is still trading above it. So again, similar to pound USD, we could be using this to continue higher. This big sell-off here just looks to be a big fake move, attracting some people, maybe taking out some liquidity just to the lows, using that to fund that for a move to the upside. So with the break of structure there for Euro USD, if you can remain above 1.06854, I do think we can probably see a push to the upside. I'm not sure how far it goes because I still do expect Euro USD to eventually push bearish again and start pushing to the lows, but we might see a short-term bullish trend in the meantime. But yeah, I would advise probably against looking for dollar pairs at the moment to trade unless you're willing to hold it through the news. If you are, fair enough, but yeah, things could look a lot different after the news. So I think it's a smarter decision to probably wait for after the news before looking to enter trades. I learned that the hard way. On AUD CAD last week, I was actually short on this one. I didn't actually have time to post this out to my Telegram group because I was actually going live with Trading Nick and A1 Trading pretty much on the hourly close as I entered the trade. So I didn't actually have time to post it out to the Telegram, but I think some people would have seen the position if you were on the stream that day. But yeah, I did get stopped out of this position just about with this wick here, and that was off the back of NFP, which in hindsight, maybe I should have waited for NFP to come out first. I entered on Thursday, so it was pretty safe. It gave me a 24 hours before the news, but maybe I should have waited for the NFP before looking for entries. Either which way, it probably would have been a loser anyway, because the market did push up for AUD CAD. So it probably is not a bad idea waiting for CPI to come out and then looking for some trades. But let me read through some comments here. Okay, so yeah, gold was flying. Gold was flying yesterday, and I will go take a look at gold in detail shortly. I will take a look at NZD-USD and AUD-USD as well. I'll take a look at AUD CAD too because I'm interested in that one. Big Bang, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Pound CAD, we'll go take a look at that one. The guy, no problem. The news is crazy today. Yeah, markets are moving hectically, which is good because we want to see some momentum in the market, because as traders we want to get in the back of that momentum. But it's important that we're patient and we're waiting for the right moment, because if you're trying to jump the gun, yeah, it's not going to work out quite well. Lance, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good morning, Saykat. I'm probably saying that wrong, but what is up? Welcome to the stream. NJ Price Stavros will take a look. I'll go for some of the yen pairs because the yen pairs have been moving quite crazy as well. AK, yeah, we back from 5 to 4. Okay, wow. So that means, are you waking up an hour earlier than you've been doing, AK, or is it an hour later? You back from 5 to 4. So yeah, if you're working up early, that is even more impressive. But glad to have you on the stream though. They had daily, so the UK will be doing that on not this Sunday, the Sunday after. So it should correct itself for that. But yeah, I mean, that's the reason why the stream might be a bit late for some people. Leo, what is up? I have a question related to charts you have sent Monday on Telegram chat. Since you had a lot of pairs you were interested in with interesting levels, but I haven't seen you entering any trades. That's something related to Monday. No. When I post charts, I assume you're talking about the charts I posted on the Telegram on Sunday evening. But when I post those charts, those are the setups I'm looking for entries. If I don't get any entries for those setups, then you won't see any trades. Simply like that. If I get a setup, I'll let you guys know, and then I'll post it on the Telegram. But if I don't get a setup, if I don't get entry, then I won't take the trade. And to be fair, I wasn't really on the charts yesterday. I was actually out and about yesterday, so I wasn't actually looking to trade. But yeah, if I do get a setup if I do get entries for the setups that I post, I will obviously look to share them on the Telegram. But yeah, I didn't get anything, and since from like 11 a.m. on Monday, I wasn't actually looking at the charts till the end of the day. Lots of weekly gaps not filled yet on USD pairs. Yeah, we did see a lot of gaps. That'd be very it could be very good or very bad to people holding trades over the weekend. But yeah, that's the market for you. It's not always going to be sensible. But yeah, we'll take a look at some more dollar pairs. So I went through pound USD, euro USD. We'll take a look at gold. Gold actually shot to the upside for this one. This one I said on my weekly analysis. If you haven't checked it out, feel free to go and do so. It's the most recent video on my channel. But this is the main level that I was looking at to buy gold from, 1830. Obviously, price is absolutely catapulted. That's it. I was going to say that completely wrong. Catapulted to the upside. So it does look highly unlikely we're going to get a retest of this zone here. Even a retest of this zone here, I'm not too sure if we'll get it. It's quite far down. So we're going to have to see quite a heavy retracement for us to get back down there. Obviously, there's some good confluence there. Prices broke through, hasn't retested the level. So this is still a good level to long from. But if the market is going to get back down here, it means we have to see quite a hefty retracement, which might not always be the best sign. You want retracement to be quite corrective and the impulsive leg to be very strong and full of momentum. So if we're seeing momentum coming back down again, I'm not too sure if I'll be too happy to long the pair. If it's nice and corrective, sure, but yeah, I doubt we'll see a retracement all the way back down to 1855 even this week. So with gold, it's interesting, with this big push to the upside, the fact that gold is holding onto that key weekly level, which we've been talking about for a while now, which is this zone here, that price support, resistance, now it's acting as support again. It does look like we've got a high probability that gold is looking to push back into that resistance there, back into those weekly highs around 1930, around 1940. That looks like where gold could be, destined to head to. So theoretically, all we're looking to do is, buy the pullbacks until we get to that zone. But yeah, the most logical place in the 4H time frame, at least I can see for buys, is still 1855, 1856. On the lower time frames, like hourly, we do have this brief consolidation here, which probably is more logical where price could probably head towards and see a healthy retracement to back down to 1880, 1885, and we can use that zone as a springboard to push higher. Elbow on the table there. So yeah, we can use that as a springboard to go higher. So I think this is probably the most logical place on the lower time frames, and by lower I mean hourly time frame. 1880, 1885. This could be a good little level to look at for some buys 4H, the most logical point is back down here, but like I said, I doubt we'll get there this week for gold. I don't know, maybe CPI could do something crazy, but I doubt it. Anyway, so yeah, bias for gold is definitely bullish. Still looking for price to push up a little bit higher into that resistance there. Whether we break through or reject it, that's a story for another day. We can monitor price when we get there and see how we react with the level. But as for now, I do see more upside for gold. So sure, gold is definitely very overextended. You know, it's definitely overbought. So we could see some retracement. But yeah, I'm not really looking to sell gold. So I'm not really interested in the shorts whatsoever. Sure, we're coming to some places where we might see some rejection. But, you know, with CPI looming ahead, yeah, I'm not really too bothered about the shorts. I'm only expecting more upside for gold, but I do need to see a good pullback first. So keeping an eye on this consolidation down the hourly and this level here on the 4H. These levels look good for some longs. But yeah, we need to get down there first. And then we can start looking at gold for some entries. Right now, kind of no man's land for me, unless you're a seller. But yeah, I'm definitely not a seller. So yeah, Yusuf, you know, selling gold a little bit aggressive for me. I do like the sell on AUD, pound USD. Like I said, pound USD might see some downside because it could be looking to have some retracement, whereas pound, like I said, it could be looking to have some retracement to retest some structure. But I'm definitely, you know, rather buy pound USD than sell it. NZD USD, I haven't really looked at that one. What's going on with NZD USD? Yeah, it's quite corrective. It seems to start be breaking through this trend line here, which is the first sign we could be seeing a reversal. We haven't broken through structure yet. This is still our main lower high in the market. So sales are not a bad shout. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the setup here. Price may still want to push up a little bit higher, back to retest that zone before maybe some downside. So as USD, yeah, it doesn't really look too good to me. The fact that we have taken out this major low here and we've done it in such a corrective fashion, normally we do see price kind of push to the upside, something like that, which normally means that this price is not normally sustainable, and then we, you know, push higher to kind of correct that. So yeah, with NZD, if your sales are up, you know, near enough around that zone, if your stop loss is above that, then you got a fairly safe stop loss. Where if price is to take your stop loss, it's most likely because we're gonna have a reversal anyway. But yeah, stop loss in and around here is a little bit dangerous. So I'm not the biggest fan of NZD. AUD, I was a fan coming into the week, but I don't like how the fat price is also retesting the consolidation here. Because AUSD right now is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We've got consolidation here, which prices broke out of. We've had a successful retest a couple times, 1 and 2, and we've also had a successful retest of that resistance there. So AUSD was looking good coming to the week. I was hoping we can get a nice push to the upside, retest the resistance, and then drop. But we got a nice impulsive move, the retest of this consolidation first, which is not what I wanted to see. And then price is now retesting that consolidation, and now it's back retesting that consolidation. So I'm not the biggest fan of AUSD anymore. I will keep an eye if we can come back into that resistance. Potentially there could be some short-term sells on the lower time frames, you know, sneak a few, you know, 50 odd pips to the downside, go break even, then let the trade run. That could be a decent opportunity there shortly for AUSD if you can have another retest of that zone. But like I said, I'm not a fan how AUSD is retesting the consolidation here. We've kind of got like 3 consolidations. We've got one there, we've got a second one here, and now it looks like the market's creating a third one here. So I'm not really the biggest fan of AUSD with the price action and how it's developing. If we were seeing a little bit more impulsive price action and not getting the retest of this zone, then I would be much happier to sell the pair. But it's a little bit corrected now, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it because it's still my watch list. I'm still looking just short. The bearish structure is still very, very clear, lower lows and lower highs, so I'm still anticipating more downside. Again, long term, still looking at a push back down to these lows, as long as the structure maintains. So I'm still short bias for AUSD. But yeah, I'm putting a pause on just looking for entries as of right now, and also looking at the DXY as well. DXY is broken through some structure, so DXY is giving some red flags there as well from a buyer's perspective. The fact that we had this huge impulse move to the upside, clearing these highs, which we didn't get a correction and a continuation. Price pushed up, corrected, no continuation to the upside, impulse back down, and also swept these lows is not a good sign for dollar bulls. And it tells me that, okay, DXY probably will correct up and probably will actually continue lower. So with DXY looking like we've probably got more downside in the tank, I'm not really so keen on shorting AUSD, even with the corrected price action we're seeing as well there. So yeah, I'm actually just waiting for things to happen. Again, waiting for CPI. That could cause a lot of movement as well. I'm not really so keen to jump back into the market straight away with some of these positions. Which again is me just having a little bit more of a a bit more of a relaxed view in the market, because right now the market is quite chaotic. We haven't even looked at the JPY pairs as of yet, and they've been quite crazy. Euro JPY big spike to the downside, pound JPY big spike to the downside as well. These look like potential fake outs as well. So I'm kind of just observing the market right now, plotting some levels, plotting some structure, and just waiting to see if I can get the next high probability opportunity, and trying not to force anything with like FOMO or just the need to get involved with momentum right now. But how's it with you guys? Pound CAD, I did say I'll take a look at that one, so I'll take a look at Pound CAD next. I'll go through some JPY pairs after, and the JPY I'm seeing requested. JPY index, yeah, sure, take a look at that. Pound Yen as well. Hey CYT, what is up? Hope you're doing good. I suggested Pound NZD. Yes, I did forget about Pound NZD. I will take a look at that one. Morning Melbert, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Tyrese, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, 1 hour later. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. Now 6 a.m. Crazy, yeah. Crazy stuff. To be fair, it's impressive. I find it hard to wake up at those times. Thankfully, I don't have to, but yeah, I do commend you there, AK, for that. Lance, Euro Pound, will take a look. Now it's actually on my watch list as well. It's broken through the support level, so I'm a bit more neutral on that, but I will take a look at that one in detail. Tyrese, if I'm corrected, if I'm correct, AUSD setup was initiated. What do you mean by that? Initiated? Do you mean entry or something? Anyway, let me go through Pound NZD first. I did request that, so that did get requested earlier. So I'll go through Pound NZD, I'll go through Pound CAD, and then we'll start looking through some JPY pairs, because they look very, very interesting right now. But yeah, Pound NZD coming into the week, I was favoring some buys on the retest of this structure here. Again, we do have these higher highs and higher lows. The market's starting to print. Haven't quite taken out these highs here. So I did say on my weekly analysis that if we haven't taken out those highs, you don't really want to push the trade further than this resistance, because at that point, we're not really seeing a sign of the market continuing that bullish trend. The fact that we've had this big sell-off, it didn't really amount to anything. We've had this impulse, no correction and no continuation. We've had just consolidation and impulse, correction and impulse. So this tells us that this big sell-off here was kind of a fake move. And now we're seeing the buyers take control. But we haven't taken out the highs either. So what could happen is a bigger consolidation, which means that you want to be making sure that you're taking your profit at that resistance. Sure, you can leave some to continue. The market could go higher, but it's definitely very, very sensible to take your profit around 1.965 and then see what happens next. So with Pound NZD, we do have these higher highs and higher lows. So buys around 1.945 looked good yesterday. I believe there was a nice candlestick pattern there to go along on the hourly time frame. So yeah, I'm expecting price to probably smack its head again against that resistance 1.965. I'm not too sure what could happen next, because like I said, we are failing to make new highs. We could react with that and come straight back down again and possibly form a bigger consolidation there. So I'll be a bit careful with Pound NZD, because although we are seeing some good momentum and some good higher highs and higher lows, we're failing to create new highs, which is kind of what happened with Euro USD. We were kind of failing to push through. So even though we did see a really strong bearish move, we were kind of failing to really push through that level. And then subsequently, we actually changed our direction from that. So when you are seeing good impulse moves in the market, it's a good sign, but you do want it to be breaking structure, create new highs or create new lows. that's a sign of really healthy move in the market. And right now, we're starting to top out there. So yeah, with pound USD, probably expect another push higher to 1.965, but yeah, we might come back down again from that resistance. So that's a good place to probably take your profit and start backing out of some trades if you are in any trades anyway. Hopefully that's made sense. But yeah, pound CAD's been flying. Pound CAD's been flying. We broke out this kind of wedge pattern at the end of last week. I think it was NFP which got us the breakout. Thursday we got the breakout. Was there news on Thursday? Can't remember if there was news on Thursday. I feel like there might have been. Actually, I have no idea. But yeah, on Friday we have NFP, which was around here, which price was still pushed to the upside from that, and it looks like price has had a successful candle close. That's the wrong tool. Has had a successful candle close above these highs as well. So not only has price broken out impulsively, we're actually clearing the prior swing high. So that tells me that pound CAD is very, very bullish, and there's a good chance we're probably going to push to the resistance up here. So I'm expecting more upside with pound CAD. I did say coming into the week, a retest of this structure would be a very nice place to go long. We've obviously got the lows, the equal lows here. The market made a new high, higher low, higher high, looking for the next higher low, for the market's kick back bullish and continue higher. But yeah, at this point, it's looking quite unlikely that we'll probably get the retest of that structure. Possibly we could get the correction back down. If it does happen, obviously, like I said, that looks like a really good place to go long. Obviously, with confirmation, not just entering blindly. But yeah, in terms of direction and destination, I'm expecting 1.68 now for pound CAD. The fact that we've had an impulsive breakout, price has maintained that momentum, and more importantly, taking up those highs down the left, shows me that the buyers are most likely here to stay. So if you get a nice healthy correction, I do think buyers will look good. Possibly if you're really trying to look for some longs and some opportunities on pound CAD, possibly the break and retest of 1.668 could give you a nice little cheeky trade to the upside into the resistance there. The market's quite extended, quite oversold, so I'm not really too keen in getting involved on buys like that. I want the market to correct, come against me, and then follow the momentum again, rather than try and buy high just the market to go high. It's not really my type of trade. So not to say that it won't work, because again, some of you guys trade differently and look at the lower time frames as well. So there could be a nice break and retest on that level. But yeah, for me, I want price to have a deeper retracement first, find some higher lows around here, around 1.65, and then look to follow that momentum higher with targets back at those highs there. So yeah, that's the plan for pound CAD. More upside for this one, but I do want to see some correction. Okay, so I'll go through AUD CADs, and then I'll go through some JPY pairs, because I did say I'll take a look at that one. Where am I? Amidu, what is up? Seen the Euro USD may reach 1.105 for the long run. What do you say about my opinions? Okay, I'll go take a look at Euro USD again, because I'm not too sure if I spoke about that level. US 30, I hope you're doing good. US 30, hope you're doing good. That's how you know that my mind's all over the place. US 30, we'll take a look. Awudua. Yeah, I'm definitely saying that wrong, but welcome to the stream. I will take a look at US 30. Kamara, how are you? I'm doing good. Any running trades? Yeah, I don't have any trades at the moment. All my trades were closed last week on Friday. So yeah, I don't have any trades at the moment, and it's quite a sensible thing to not have any trades at the moment, unless obviously your trades are break even and you're taking some profit from them. But with the CPI coming out soon, it's probably wise to not have any trades. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at the JPY pairs soon. Yeah, I'm not a fan of being a fan, not a fan. Still not a fan. Yeah, I'm not. I have no idea what that means. Dennis, your CAD. Okay, we'll take a look. Broke resistance and retested. We'll take a look. See, Rabdi, what is up? Good morning. Hope everyone is well. I'm late, no problem. Have a note from my dad if that helps. Yeah, that'll do just fine, mate. As long as you haven't forged the note or forged the signature. I mean, it's not like I'll be able to tell. But what's up, Rabdi? Hope you're doing good. Anything you're looking at? Okay, so let me go take a look at AD CAD and then we'll go through some JPY pairs. So yeah, like I said with AD CAD, I got burned on AD CAD last week. I was in some shorts I got into some shorts on Thursday on this candle here. Stop loss just a few pips above the high. This wick here took me out. I think NFP was around here, and then after that there was a wick to the upside which took me up the trade. But then yeah, the market never really continued lower. It was looking really bearish at one point at the end of the week. Really nice 4H close, but the market kind of gapped up quite aggressively. Actually, that was quite a big gap. And then yeah, since then the market's been pushing a little bit higher. So with AUD CAD, it's a little bit interesting. You know, although the market structure is still bearish, the market's still creating lower lows and lower highs. So I still do expect more downside. But this price action here is ugly. It's very, very ugly. It's difficult to find a good stop loss placement unless you're above this wick here. So with price action like this, which is not very, very clean, you know, I'm kind of sitting back and waiting for it to clarify. You know, if you look at my USDC ETF trade from last week, you know, look how just easier it is just to understand, you know, the entry and getting involved with this trade. This looks very, very simple. You know, you had the continuation to the upside, correction, market came back into a good level of resistance turn support, retested it, nice bullish engulfing, you know, take the trade. Obviously it played out quite well because of the news, but just the entry itself, it's just so easy to just look at that and understand why you've gone long on that particular candle. Whereas AD CAD, you know, this is not really clean. So even though the bearish structure is still quite tidy, we're still making lower lows and lower highs. You know, that's still evidently clear to see. Recently, we did see a good move to the downside with a lot of bearish momentum, and even before that as well. So I do like the structure from that perspective, and you are clearing the lows by quite some distance. So there are a lot of ticks going for AD CAD shorts, and a lot of reason why shorts can be quite good. But this price action here is not favorable. It's not favorable. It's quite easy to get wicked out like I did last week. And to anyone who would have got into a trade after me would have also got wicked out as well. You know, something like this with that big nasty wick there from yesterday. So with AUD CAD, bearish bias is still intact. You haven't violated any structure yet. But again, a big part of trading is just your decision making. You know, you don't have to take every trade, don't have to get involved with every single move. Sometimes the best decision is no action. And with AUD CAD, if this price action sustains with these wicks here, yeah, no action is what I'll be doing. And again, with CPI, you know, CPI doesn't always it doesn't just affect dollar pairs. It affects kind of, you know, every currency, every pair as well. So with CPI, we could see some things clear up. Maybe we could see even more messy price action, to be honest. But yeah, AUD CAD is still looking like it's hanging on to this level for the life of it, but I'm not a fan of the price action. There's some nice wicks to the upside, but there's also some nice big wicks to the downside. And overall, not really seeing some clear momentum coming back into the market. So yeah, AUD CAD, I'm just kind of observing it. If it does push without me, if it pushes without me, like I said, I'm not here to catch every trade. I'm just here to catch the easy ones that are, you know, clear to make out. Ones that I have to squint and you know, really dive into. Normally are not worth my time. But anyway, so we'll go through some JPY pairs. So as JPY pound yen has been requested. So as JPY, I have to say off the bat, I'm not a fan of this pair at all. Looking at this on a daily perspective, just, you know, going a time frame higher, this looks very, very messy, and I'm not willing to enter any trades here. So I suppose maybe some of you are looking at the retest of that kind of miniature consolidation that we had within the bigger consolidation. So maybe a retest of this support time resistance could potentially provide, you know, some selling opportunities. The market kind of is still trending to the downside of these lower lows and lower highs. So, you know, possibly around 83,600, there could be some more sales. for a move back down lower into this support level, or maybe into the low of the range, down to these lows. So that makes some sense. Like I said, it's trading within the middle of a range, and that's kind of like a no-go zone for me. So it's just not a trade idea which I will entertain too much, but it does make sense. The market's obviously had this really nice push to the upside off the back of the consolidation, which looks like the market just had a complete reversal since then. So, we're probably expecting a correction and then a continuation to the downside. So it does make some sense. But yeah, as to how the market is trading and the area it's trading in, it's just not high probability for me. There's no kind of real trend in the market. There's no kind of real momentum. We're seeing strong bullish momentum, but also we're seeing strong bearish momentum at the same time. So quite frankly, I'm kind of staying away from NZJPY until we start to get some clear momentum in a particular direction, breaking through some key lows or breaking through some key highs. And then I'll be more than happy to look to follow that momentum once I've seen that. So yeah, I can see the sells there, but yeah, for me, I don't really look at that as high probability. So yeah, possibly could work, but I'm not too excited by the opportunity since it's in the range. Pound yen is interesting. Pound yen, I was talking about this one on my weekly analysis, and I said, if pound yen can see a move to the downside, break through some lows, which is what the market's actually done here, looking for a move to the downside, break through some lows here, see a nice impulsive push, I'll be more than happy to start looking for some sells in the opposite direction. Because I did say, even though, because I think price was trading around here when I was doing my weekly analysis. So I said, even though the market hasn't actually broken any structure to the downside, but by the way the market's moving, especially after this move here, we can tell that sellers are coming back into the market and buyers are still really failing to push price higher. So it was evidently clear after this move here that most likely we're going to see a move to the downside. And after the move happened, so after we got this candle closure here, I was like, okay, pound yen clearing out some lows, breaking through some structure, really good momentum as well. Now we can look for a correction and a move to the downside. Like I said, I wasn't actually on the markets a lot yesterday, so I think I woke up and the market was around here. So yeah, the market was pushing down here. So when I got back onto the charts, price was trading up around here, and this kind of bullish move here from that bullish candle was a little bit of a red flag when I did see the market, because it looked like a bit of a fake out, especially with the daily candle here as well. Like I said, when you're looking at fake outs, typically the fake out on the time frame you've seen the fake out in, if you go to the higher time frame of that particular time frame. So for this example, if there's a fake out on the full H and you go to the daily, normally the fake out move, which is the suspected fake out, is normally a wick on the daily. And that normally adds some clarity to which way the market actually wants to go. So you can see that this big move here to the downside, even though we had some really nice big candles to the downside, it's just a big wick on the daily. And similar to the move here as well, that was a big kind of fake to the upside, clearing out this resistance here on the left. There would have been some sellers around there to move that circle out the way. This was a big fake move, big bullish move to the upside, came right back down, represented by a wick on the daily, and as a result, you got a move to the downside. However, that move looks to be a bit of a fake out there as well. So with pound yen, I'm kind of just observing right now. I do think we can probably form a lower high, but I'm waiting for some more development and waiting to see what happens with the news as well. So with pound yen, in terms of the structure of the market, since we have taken out those lows, I do favor more downside, but I'm not so keen to jump straight in until I've got some more development for some setups. Because like I said, this could be a fake out, which actually means that we most likely move higher. Because when we do fake out in a particular direction, it's for the market to move the other way. So there is some kind of contradictory technical factors with the shorts here. So I don't want to jump straight back in until I see some good signs that, okay, the market is most likely going to move lower, so then we start looking for some entries. So yeah, pound yen, I do have a sell bias because of the lower lows and lower highs, but like I said, that fake out doesn't give me too much confidence to look for some sells. So at the moment, I'm just kind of just watching the market and waiting for some more price action, some more PA for me to make a better informed decision. Maybe tomorrow after the news as well. But yeah, the other yen pair has been quite crazy. CHF JPY is looking quite bullish. The higher highs and higher lows have continued here. I was expecting this one to roll over last week. And then I think CHF was very, very strong. CHF was very, very strong for some particular reason. I'm not too sure. I haven't really read up on it. But yeah, I wasn't used to CHF trading out and completely capitulated to the downside. So I was buying here and the market absolutely reversed on me. But the thing is, at the time the market was coming down, USD wasn't that weak. It was mainly CHF that was doing some crazy things. If you look at like CAD CHF, this is Euro CHF that absolutely dumped to the downside. AUD CHF absolutely capitulated. Pound CHF, not so much. CAD CHF, huge breakout, that consolidation there. So CHF was very, very strong. I'm not too sure what the reason was. If anyone knows the reason, fill me in the comments. But yeah, CHF was very strong, and CHF JPY broke to the upside whilst many yen pairs were actually moving lower. So USJPY, Pound Yen, NZJPY, AJPY, CAD Yen, all those yen pairs were spilling over to the downside. But CHF JPY is the only yen pair still to kind of be in that kind of corrective trend and still continue to the upside. So CHF JPY I'm kind of just keeping an eye on, because we're coming to some areas where I'm not particularly keen to keep buying it. This was that kind of major lower high we saw the momentum come from. Maybe we might see the sellers kick back in for a move to the downside, but obviously we need to break through some structure first. Euro yen, that's kind of spilled over quite aggressively as well. Again, potentially could be a fake out. There's so many wicks here to the downside on the weekly, so I'm just kind of waiting to see how things develop. So yeah, I'm not really seeing any clear-cut trades at the moment. I'm not seeing any clear-cut trades at the moment, so I'm just kind of waiting on the sidelines right now. Then we go through some more pairs. Comments. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any clear-cut trades at the moment, so I'm kind of just observing the markets, waiting for more price action, more PA to make better informed decisions. We'll go through some of the indices as well, so US 30 included. I'll take a look at Euro USD at that 1.105 level 2. Yeah, Euro CAD, we'll take a look, no problem. Yeah, I'll do Euro CAD as well. Euro Pound, I'll take a look as well. That was on my watch list. Like I said, I'll go through some indices too. Yeah, NAS 100 oil, we'll take a look at those pairs as well. But first, let me go through Euro CADs. Let me take a look at Euro USD too. So Euro CADs, obviously Pound CAD we saw breaking out to the upside with a lot of momentum. So Euro CAD will probably be of some similar fashion. Yeah, break to the upside, maybe not as aggressive as Pound CAD, but still taking out those highs and kind of breaking out this bigger consolidation, which is what I've said for Euro CAD. So we've had this big consolidation. I said I'm not really looking to take any trades in that consolidation. Sure, you can look to sell high and buy low and kind of take advantage of the extremes of the range. But as a trend trader, as a trader who likes to trade trending markets, I want to see the markets clearing out highs, giving me higher lows, clearing out highs, so on and so forth. And that's what the market's starting to do. So yes, potentially EuroCAD. I'm not really a fan of that buy there. I'm not really a big fan of that buy because we haven't actually cleared the highs by too much there as well. And the fact that we kind of just wicked into that level is also a good sign as well. You want the market to wick through a level rather than wick and just test the level like that. Those are much better opportunities rather than this as well. But if EuroCAD can have a deeper retracement and really start to throw some wicks here to the downside, potentially that could be a nice buy and simply just take it back to where we came from. So nothing too crazy. But it would be nice if price can rip through this a lot further, similar to Pound CAD, who had a really big breakout, of this resistance, huge move to the upside. So if you can have a correction from that, I would much rather be looking to buy Pound CAD. than EuroCAD. But if EuroCAD can give us more evidence that it is holding that same level, then possibly there could be some nice buys later on. But like I said, we want to see the wick through the level rather than just testing the top of the level there, just for more confirmation. Because if you go to the lower time frames, all the market's done is just had a little test the level and quite a big reaction. But when we have big wicks that go through the level, it's price trying to break through, but evidently just pulling back above, which is normally what gives us really good entries after the wick has formed. So yeah, EuroCAD looks good for some longs back to the resistance, 1.475. We potentially could go higher as well, but I'm not too sure if there's any clear cut levels we can aim for. Thank you so much, Braveheart, for subscribing, much appreciated. But yeah, I'm not too sure if there's any clear cut levels. Maybe if you zoom into some of these levels here, but they're kind of quite far ago. Yeah, all the 2021, which is like a year and a half ago. So yeah, there's no kind of clear cut levels to trade to apart from the resistance that price just created. I suppose you could look at the psychological levels, 1.48, 1.485. But I think you're much safer just taking it to the highs and then calling it a day at that level there. So if you're not already in EuroCAD, you want price to come back down and retest 1.464, and then look for some entries around this area there, and then obviously targets back to where we came from into that resistance there. Got a decent range to work with, 100 odd pips there to the upside. Probably get a decent risk reward if you look to enter on maybe like the hourly time frame, something like that. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook on EuroCAD. Euro USD, you said 1.105. Okay, so looking for price to come to those highs. Possibly, I'm still expecting Euro USD to reverse bearish and actually come lower eventually. So something maybe like this, we might push up again, maybe double top or something like that, and then start to come lower. So that's what I'm looking at for Euro USD. We possibly could go back to 1.105, because technically speaking, the market hasn't actually broken through these lows yet. They're still intact. This is still the higher low, which gave us these new highs. So the market could still push all the way up to that resistance there. But because we've had this kind of climatic sell-off after that big spike, this is normally what we see at top of trends. So I think there's a high probability we probably will spill over. But I need the market to start giving me some bearish structure again, because at the moment we are breaking through this bearish structure. We'd be making lower lows and lower highs, but now looks like the market is actually breaking through the highs and could be giving some higher lows to push higher. So I need the market to snap bearish again before I look for any sells. So yeah, like I said, Euro USD looks good for a push higher. Thank you so much, Jim Maurice, for subscribing. So yeah, I do think Euro USD could probably see a move higher, but again, we got CPI in like an hour and 45 minutes. I'm pretty sure an hour and 35 minutes. So it's not wise really to be looking for some trades now, unless you got a bit bigger a stop loss. Even so, it's probably just best just to wait for the news to come out and then look at what's happened, and then you can make some more informed decisions. Once the news has kind of had its madness. But right now the market's quite chaotic, so I think we'll probably see some big moves here across the board after CPI as well. So yeah, Euro USD is breaking through resistance. It looks like it's having some really good retest as well, so I do favor more upside. But with the news coming out, it doesn't make too much sense looking at some buys, because you could have something like this where it looks pretty clean, pretty straightforward. We'll move back into the resistance there. But price could probably still be trading around here by the time the news comes out, and then you could see something like this spike lower, maybe some mad spikes, and then it pushes to your take profit. So yeah, all you're walking away from is, yes, your bias was right, yes, the break and retest has played out ish, but you're walking away with a loss. So it's not really worth the risk. It's better to wait for the news kind of do its craziness, and then we can look to capitalize if there's opportunities after. If not, then there's always tomorrow. We can go again. So yeah, Euro USD possibly back to those highs. The structure's still in place. So from a structural standpoint, it's still valid for a move back to those highs. But looking at the structure and the price action, how the market's been moving, there's a higher probability will probably sell off maybe around 1.085, coming back to this zone here potentially. So that's kind of where I can see your USD head to, and then maybe you might start forming some lower lows and lower highs again and start selling off back down. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But anyway, let me get back to some of the pairs. I'll go through some indices as well. Shorty had a few requests. US30, NAS, we'll take a look as well. Oil, we'll take a look. I'll go for Euro Pound. Actually, Euro Pound I did sell. Take a look at Euro Pound. USJPY for sales. Okay, we'll take a look at that one, Tues. USJPY has had a quite aggressive sell-off since the weekend's since the week's come back into motion. Same with a lot of the other JPY pairs, which I'll take a look at. I'm kind of just observing things right now and not really giving out any kind of big calls right now, because the market's still a little bit sensitive, and especially seeing a lot of big wicks as well, which is not a good sign. In terms of momentum, you want to see momentum sustain and see good candle closures. Wicks are a sign of failure. But we'll take a look in more detail. Euro AUD, AUC Chef. Okay, I'll take a look at Euro Pound first, and I'll go through some indices. Thank you so much to Sif, love from Pakistan. Much appreciated. What is up, Miko? Have you got a strategy for going into CPI or staying out on the sidelines until the dust settles? Yep, I'll be staying out until the dust settles. I'm not really looking to play CPI. I don't really have any strategy in place to trade news events. Well, I do have a strategy. It's just staying out of the markets unless I've got a trade. Again, as an intra-week swing trader, it's difficult for me to miss out all the big news events and stay on the sidelines completely, because if I did that, I probably wouldn't have many trades going on. So there will be some times where I'm in a trade. I've entered a few hours earlier or a day earlier, and I'm in a trade like I was last week with AUD-CAD. But yeah, it's hard for me to stay out completely. So if there's a good trade, I will take it, but it has to be at least a few hours before the news, or preferably a day before. If it's like an hour to go, 2 hours to go, then I won't take the trade, because I do run the risk of getting wicked out quite easily. So especially for CPI now, which is in like an hour and a half, yeah, I will definitely be staying out on the sidelines. Okay, so we'll take a look at Euro Pound. So yeah, Euro Pound coming into the week, I was looking for some buys for this one. I actually did get a signal for some longs here on this candle closure here, which would have failed, did fail. Like I said, I wasn't actually at the charts yesterday, so I actually dodged the bullet, because I would have taken a loss on this one. This would have been the trade, something like that. So I would have taken a loss there on Euro Pound, looking for the market to hold that support level. We're getting some really nice higher highs and higher lows. We had a fake out recently of that same trend line, and all I'm looking for the market to do is basically just hold that support and look for a move higher. But as you can see, the trade would have failed there. But yeah, for Euro Pound, the structure is getting very messy now. The fact that we're breaking underneath the trend line again, and also the support is not holding, is not a good sign. So I'm actually just starting to become a lot more neutral now for Euro Pound, and just waiting for some more clarity with this one, because we could be looking at toppling over. Maybe the market is looking to break through some structure here and starting to go lower and something like that. So possibly you could see some nice sells later down the road. But as for looking for buys again for Euro Pound, I'm definitely going to be on the sidelines for that. I'm definitely a bit more neutral, since we are failing to hold support and failing to hold that kind of trend line there as well. We haven't broken through key lows yet, but it could just be a matter of time. So with Euro Pound, I'm just staying away. If we get back above, I may consider it. Probably not, because it is still quite corrective, and I'm not liking the fact that we are breaking through the support level and the trend line initially. So even if you do get back above, I probably will not enter unless things look very good. But yeah, Euro Pound, I'm not a fan of this anymore. The fact that it's breaking through that is not something I want to see. So this one I'm looking at as a failed setup here. And possibly could be looking to go lower, possibly to go and retest this support level. There could actually be some nice sells now, because this level of support will now be turned resistance, and obviously that trend line will be turned resistance there as well. So there actually might be some better sells to take advantage of for another move lower. The market's been making some lower lows and lower highs here on the hourly time frame. As you can see, had some equal highs up there. Since then, the market's been printing these lower highs and possibly could be printing another one shortly. So yeah, euro pound, you probably got a higher chance of moving back down to 0.876, which is these lows here, than the market is to suddenly start trending higher. So if you can see some good rejection on the retest of this level here, right now the market is still quite bullish, but if you can throw some wicks there to the upside and give us a nice bearish engulfing, maybe you could probably get away with a 30-minute time frame for that as well. I do think there could be some nice short-term sells, back down to this level. Euro pound normally have a lot of pips about it. Yeah, about 50 odd pips, 50, 60 pips there to the downside. Probably can get yourself a decent stop loss down the 30-minute anyway. So yeah, euro pound coming into the week pretty bullish. Was one of the setups that I gave out coming into the week, but it looks like the support levels completely failed. So if it starts to hold out the resistance, there could actually be some nice sells to come back down and retest that key support at 0.876. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for euro pound right now. The buys are not looking good at all. The fact that we are trading underneath it kind of invalidates the setup altogether. Okay, so let me go through some more chats. Okay, so I'll go through some indices next, and then I'll take a look at so yeah, US 30, NAS 100. I'll take a look at S&P while I'm there as well. ADC Chef UAD. Okay, we'll take a look. No problem. Sell limit 163. Okay, we'll have a look. See on pound yen. Miko, are you TradingView? I'm using TradingView if that's what you meant to ask. So yeah, I'm using TradingView. And yeah, I'll take a look at UCJPY for Hughes as well. The white horse is about to ride. I'm not too sure what that's about. Braveheart, hi, can you look at silver? I'm in a sell thoughts. Okay, we'll take a look at silver as well, no problem. Rabdi, my bias is still too short for pound USD, but obviously it has broken out. However, we have a ton of news coming out. Also, nice gap down for the DXY. It was left on Monday, hasn't been filled. Yeah, we could see some upside for the DXY to go and fill the gap. I mean, a lot of the dollar pairs, like you said, I think someone else mentioned as well, a lot of the gaps haven't been filled. I'm not really too much of a gap type guy, just because the market has gapped. Doesn't normally will give me any incentive to try and look to buy or sell, to try and get price to fill that gap. If a gap is in my direction and I've already got all my normal confluences and entries to enter a trade and take advantage of a trade, then sure, the gap would add more confidence to what I'm already doing. But just because the market is gapped is not enough for me to look for any sort of trade idea. But yeah, pound USD could possibly correct down. Like you said, it has broken through some structure, broken through that resistance. So I'm no longer really looking to entertain sells right now. And in fact, you could possibly see a correction for price to go higher and retest 1.23, which is that big consolidation we've got on the left there, which actually we haven't really had a retest of. So yeah, we possibly could see that for pound USD. But yeah, the sells are not quite there for me, so I'm putting a pause on that bias for now across most of the dollar pairs, and particularly looking at the DXY as well. I'm not really a big fan of buying this one. I do think we can probably see some upside, but with the price action and how things are looking, it most likely will be a correction for probably another kick to the downside, maybe back to these lows here at that support level, and then we can see what happens next. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm looking at for the DXY. So I'm not really too enthusiastic to go against to sell pound USD. I was about to say go against dollar, but that is kind of against dollar. I've seen some downside. So yeah, I'm not really too keen to sell dollar pairs right now. But anyway, so let me go through some of the indices. So US 30 has seen some downside. Obviously, the market's still looking quite bearish for the indices. I'm still looking at indices coming back down to these lows here. US 30 back down to 28,800. S&P back down to 3591. NAS 100 back down to 10,723. So I'm still looking for those moves for the indices. As long as we can maintain that bearish structure, we still do have a quite high probability that will make those moves. However, we need to see some corrections for US 30 and the other indices to get in some trades. We've got some really nice support here. In fact, US 30 was on my weekly analysis. It was the bonus pair. So if you guys haven't checked out the analysis of the weekly analysis that I posted on the weekend, feel free to go and do that. It's the most recent video on my channel. But yeah, US 30, I was talking about some sales for this one. If we can see a correction to the upside back to 32,600, I do think we can see more downside. I'm looking at these being our major swing points now. So as long as price doesn't break through 33,500, I'm looking at more downside. So I gave out a couple levels. This support, broken support, term resistance being one of them, and also this level here just below 33k is also the second one. So either one of these levels can look good for some shorts. Obviously we need price to get to these areas first, and then we can look for some sells. But yeah, in terms of bias and everything for US 30, it's definitely to the short side. So hopefully we can see some upside, some corrections, and then look to sell it back down again. Naturally targets back down to where we came from, but long term we are looking for a push into these lows here. So do with that information what you will in terms of your targets, how you want to manage your trade. But yeah, these two levels here look like great levels to short from. You just need to wait for some confirmations to get involved. NAS 100 is a little bit interesting. NAS 100 isn't as clean as US 30. The US 30 is broken to the downside with really good momentum, giving us two clear levels to get involved with. However, NAS is still kind of corrective here. It's still kind of corrective. So I'm not the biggest fan of this one. It's still producing lower lows and lower highs. So the shorts still look good. But you probably want price to probably snap bullish and see some more upside before looking to get involved. We still got this broken level of support here on the left. Let me just tidy that up a little bit. This broken level of support in the left, which will be term resistance. We may push into that, form the next lower high, because as you can see, we've been consistent with all of these lower highs. So as long as we don't break through this bearish structure, I do still see US 100 pushing to the downside and going further. So it's crucial that we form another lower high. If we start breaking through some highs, even start breaking through this high as well, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. And it could mean that the market actually could be going bullish back for push back to highs. So from a seller's point of view, we are still making those lower lows and lower highs, and we need to maintain that. And this could be a good resistance for us to do that. If I whip out the old Fibonacci from high to the low, you can see we do have the 0.786 testing around those levels there as well. So that's a good sign. But yeah, so NAS 100 still sell bias. The lower highs are still intact, still maintaining those lower highs there. So all we're looking to do is continue that pattern until it fails. US 30 a little bit more clearer to see. So if I was going to trade the indices, it probably would be US 30. And S&P is not bad as well. Really nice momentum to the downside. You can see the lower highs are still intact there as well. Still seeing a bunch of these. But again, we want to see some upside. We want to see some retracement. Obviously, you can see the market starting to give big wicks here to the downside. So you do not want to be selling at these lows. These are some big signs that the market is most likely going to see some upside and retrace it anyway. So selling into these lows here with those big exaggerated wicks is never really a good sign. It's a sign that the market is likely to retrace higher, which is good because it means we can get better entries anyway to sell the market. So again, this consolidation is probably number one as an area to short from. Lovely bearish move here to the downside. Short pause there of consolidation, really nice breakout there as well, coming back to the 0.618. This is where you want to start looking for some entries to take the market down and possibly catch that next lower high. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can get the 6th one for another move lower. And again, most logical targets back down to where we came from into this support level. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook for the major US indices, US 100, US 30, S&P. All still bearish bias, so we're still forming those lower lows and lower highs. So still looking for that to continue until we start breaking through some structure. So that's the outlook there for the indices. I'll go through UAUD, ADC, TREF. Those pairs were requested as well. Take a look at Pound Yen and USD/JPY too. So yeah, if there's any pairs that I have called out which I have missed, which there probably would be, feel free to remind me in the comment section. Just drop another comment. But I'm trying my best to get through at least 90% of the pairs that I mentioned down below. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty much just went over Pound USD. Siseklo. Sito. That's an interesting little surname there. But yeah, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. I do appreciate hearing from TradingX channel. Hey, much appreciate. A lot of people are probably from TradingX channel. To be fair, I think a big bunch of people when I first started appearing on TradingX and anyone Trading channel, I think a big bunch of people came over from them, which and a few people have stick around. So I remember Moch, Poppy, a few other people, can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, some regulars have come from TradingX and A1 Trading. So yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity that they gave me to stream on their channel. But yeah, what is up? What any pairs you guys are looking at? Feel free to leave it down on the stream. Okay, so we'll take a look at USD/JPY. I'll go through UAUD and ADC TREF as well. I have not forgotten. So USD/JPY huge. You said you're looking at some sells, so it does make sense. We have been ripping to the downside as well. The sells do look okay. I'm not so particularly keen, me myself, because we've had this one big impulse here, and yeah, it's the market just not looking too particularly healthy right now. It's not really an established bearish market right now. We've had this huge move to the downside, wiping out some lows here to the left. So I want to see more evidence that the market wants to go short. And what I mean by that is we've had this nice impulse. This is possibly a correction. I want to see another push to the downside, and then on that next correction, I'll be looking to go short and catch that next lower high. This is kind of like our first impulse. It's a big impulse. It's kind of out of the blue there, out of context. It's kind of just like, it's almost too big, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we've had this first impulse, really nice move to the downside, broken through some key lows, and I want to see some evidence that the market still wants to go lower, because these are the type of big kind of sell-offs which kind of trick people, catch people on the wrong side, which you just see the market kind of slowly just push bullish again. And what we've got here is the market creating these bigger, higher lows to actually continue the market trend and go higher. So that's kind of my one question mark there with USD/JPY sells at the moment. However, we could be looking at a bearish trend. So all I want to see is the market push lower again, take out these lows, and then the next lower high, I'll be much more of a fan to get involved with. So that's what I'm looking at for USD/JPY for my personal trading. If you're looking to get involved right now, I think the most logical place to go short is probably 135,500, a retest of this structure here, because this is a really nice support level. This is what kind of held the consolidation. We broke through that for a lot of momentum. Haven't got the retest of that. So the most logical place to go short, I think, is still 135,500 up here for some sells. So if you are looking to short, this is the level I'll probably have my eyes fixated on. I suppose you potentially could sell off from some areas down here, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. Like I said, we've had this huge impulse. No real sign that the market is showing continuation yet. So I want price to either retest 135,500, which you've got a much safer stop loss, a much stronger, a much stronger level to trade from, or just simply wait to see if you can get another impulse to the downside. And the next correction will be a really good correction to short. And again, we've got a lot of targets to aim for. We've got these lows here, we've got these lows down here. So we don't have to always get in on the first one. Sometimes the second or the third could just be just as profitable and just a much safer, less risky opportunity as well. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for USD/JPY. But if you're keen to short, keep an eye on 135,500. Anyway, so take a look at ADC TREF and EUR/AUD. So EUR/AUD still pushing to the upside, still taking out these highs. Euro AUD has smacked its head into this level here, which is the level we were talking about last week. I wasn't actually expecting price to get there so quickly. I remember last week we were trading around here. I said I still do expect 1.62, so hopefully we can see a correction beforehand and still get into some buys. However, I think on Thursday, or maybe coming to Friday, so yeah, Thursday, we saw some momentum, and then Friday it was kind of like the nail in the coffin there. We pushed up to 1.62. Now price is kind of just dancing around that level. So with Euro AUD, I do expect to see some type of correction. We've got the highs up here, which could be another possible target which price could be moving towards, but we do want to see a correction before that. So for Euro AUD, I'm looking at the market having a breather. Oh, wrong tool there. Having a breather, seeing some downside. I'm still particularly interested at 1.58-ish. So this is still the level that that grabs my interest, around 1.58, because that's still a key level of resistance. We broke through with good momentum, haven't got the retest yet. You can see the market's quite corrected right now, throwing wicks to the downside and to the upside around this part here. So I'm not really seeing any clean entries around here. It's all quite sporadic, it's all quite chaotic, and you can be subjected to get wicked out quite easily, especially with the CPI coming out pretty soonish. So yeah, with Euro AUD, this is still my number one place where I'm looking to buy from, around 1.58. We are having that key level up there at 1.62 as well. I want price to possibly have a good rejection at that level, see some downside, and then we can possibly look to buy it back up and send it to where it came from. So that makes a lot more sense to me. That makes a lot more sense to me for Euro AUD. Still bullish. You're still clearing out highs. You can see the major highs here still getting cleared out, So it does tell me that buyers are still very much in control of this market. But yeah, we're getting quite corrective now, and we're starting to lose some momentum. And it makes sense because we are approaching a very key level. So hopefully we can have a deeper correction back to 1.58. This is where I've got the most confluence. This is the best level I can spot right now for Euro AUD. And then if I can see some good entries, I'll be more than happy to look to buy that back up again, and targets 1.61, 1.62. Possibly we can maybe leave some to trickle to 1.64. But yeah, Euro AUD definitely bullish bias, and expecting more upside. But yeah, it's way too corrective to get anything there. And AUD CHF, that one absolutely dumped the downside. Like I said, CHF was very, very strong on Thursday coming to Friday, and AUD CHF did feel that first hand, therefore move to the downside. So long term with AUD CHF, the market is still exceptionally bearish. You can see this is the monthly chart, by the way. Since literally the beginning of time, the market has been absolutely rolling over to the downside, taking out low after low, and pretty much seeing new all-time lows with every single down move, pretty much on the monthly chart. So long term, we're expecting AUD CHF to come back into the support. Long term, we're expecting price to probably take out these lows. So I do think there's still a lot more downside for AUD CHF, back down to back down to 0.58. And I feel like we're probably just working our way towards that. But it's not going to be as straightforward as it seems. We're not going to just, we could just potentially just dump again for another big bearish week, but we could potentially pull back, we could potentially consolidate, move left, move right, move up and down, and then go and hit the level. You can see here the market does like its consolidation. We've got consolidation over here, we've got consolidation over here, and we've got consolidation over here. So the market does like its pauses with AUD CHF, and we could see that starting to brew up again. It might not just continue to dump to the downside, but in terms of the overall direction of the market, we're still looking at 0.59, 0.58 for a move to the downside. So with AUD CHF, you want to see a correction. You want to see a correction 100%. The market's right now oversold, it's quite overextended, taking out these lows here. So we need to see some upside. We need to see some upside for some retracement, and then we can start looking to sell it back down. There's nothing here that looks to be worthwhile right now with AUD CHF. I'm 100% bearish in this market. I'm still looking for the market to go lower, but I need to see some corrections. I suppose this could be something we could be keeping an eye on, just in case we were to retrace into that. That possibly could be an area to go short or start looking for some ideas to go short around 0.62. It does line up with a good psychological level there, but here we're just in the middle of nowhere. We're in the middle of nowhere. We just cleared some new lows. Looking left, there's nothing really there to work with. So there's nothing here to do. Even if you want to buy the market to take advantage of the retracement, you're not really buying against anything. The market hasn't created new higher highs or higher lows. It just doesn't make any sense to do anything here. So yeah, with ADCHF, I say look to be patient with this one. It's still a 100% bearish market. You can see the momentum we are seeing to the downside is still clear, still evident. So the main thing we're after here is some good healthy pullbacks, and then we're looking to short it back down once we get some good confluence going. But yeah, these prices, there's nothing there. I'm not seeing anything for us to do. So yeah, need to be patient there with ADCHF. So hopefully that has helped. Silver I'll take a look at. I'll go through pound yen as well. So pound yen silver we'll take a look at as well. Someone said they were short. UAD, ADCHF. Pound USD, we'll go take a look at that one. We've got a few requests for pound USD, so I'll go over that one quickly as well. US oil, yep, that was requested before, so we'll take a look as well. No problem. Omar, what is up? Good morning. Do you trade prop firm money? Not at the moment. I'm looking to research into prop firms which I should go with, because I'm looking to see if I can get a prop firm which I can trade on the side. But at the moment, I'm only trading with personal capital. SPX, we'll take a look as well. No problem. Trevor, happy to help. Pound CHF, okay. Obscura, what is up? We'll take a look. What is up? Hope you're doing good. Pound USD gold. Okay, we'll go through those pairs as well. Euro yen. Okay, Mahmood, we'll take a look at US oil. No need to worry. Euro JPY we'll take a look at as well. Pound AD. Okay, a bunch of pairs. Richard, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Henrique, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Lost my funded account due to spread. Was up $1,000 and still lost it at market open. Wow, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I did say anyone holding trades over the weekend will either be be happy to see the market gap in their favor, or on the wrong end of the stick. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that is unfortunate. Again, spread, it's going to fluctuate, it's going to change, especially when you're having big gaps like that. On the market open, it's just not a great place to be. I do hold trades over the weekend, so I've experienced gaps in the market against me and for me, and big spread, and there have been some times where I have been taken out of trade as well, just because the gap has gone the wrong way. And there's been some times as well where I've been holding a trade over the weekend and the market is gapped above my stop loss, so I've actually taken a bigger loss than I wanted, because when the market gaps up, the broker will fill in the price of what the current market is trading at, and if it's above your stop loss, it obviously will take you out the trade, but not at the stop loss price, so you can take much bigger loss than you expected, and that's happened to me a couple times as well, which is very, very annoying. But yeah, I mean, no need to worry, man. No need to worry, because again, the big thing you focus on is the skill set. The big thing you focus on, Henrique, is the skill set, which is difficult to lose once you've got it, and that's the main thing. Because if you got the skill set, you can get back another funded account. You can always get more capital. But yeah, stuff like that is always going to creep up into your trading. Slippage, big spreads getting taken out of the market, gaps always occur. So yeah, it's a part we have to deal with. I suppose maybe if you are trading funded accounts, it's probably maybe not the best idea to hold over the weekend, because obviously you do run the risk like that. And obviously with a personal account, if I get taken out of spread, bigger spread, or market gaps against me and takes me out at a worse price than my stop loss, although it's unfortunate, but obviously I won't lose my personal account because I don't have any like drawdown limits or daily max loss limits. The capital is still there. So, holding trades over weekends and having more fluctuations of spread, you can afford to do that with personal accounts. But I think for funded accounts, especially with having a funding account, your main goal should just be preserving that capital and just having it, accessible to trade from. You want to be very, very risk adverse with funded accounts because, like you just shown there, it's very, very easy to lose it very, very quickly over something so trivial like the market gapping up. So I think probably you probably learn from that. Going into your next funded account, that's probably best just to close your trades over the weekend and probably don't leave it over the weekend, even if the prop firm allows you to hold trades over the weekend. It's probably not the best because you potentially could get your max loss day limit or whatever it is, and then you lose the account. So yeah. But sorry to hear, but hopefully you can get yourself back up again and get another funded account. So pound USD, the fact that we have broken out this kind of corrective descending channel here tells us that we could be seeing some more upside. And obviously we've got some news coming out shortly as well, but all I can see right now is more upside for pound USD. Possibly we could see a correction to the downside, maybe retest some structure as well, around 1.205, around about 1.205. We might see a correction into that level, but I think pound USD with this break of structure and the fact that we've had this such aggressive sell-off here to the downside, which has an amount to nothing, and the market completely reversing on a pinhead, tells me that pound USD most likely will move higher. And also looking at DXY as well, they're pretty much doing the exact same thing. So we could see CPI push the market down, and then possibly the market finds support again and moves higher, or maybe CPI just pushes the market higher. But I do feel 1.23 based on the structure and how we're moving. 1.23 looks likely to be hit for pound USD. Then potentially we might sell off again, or we could actually break structure and continue higher. We will have to wait and see. Pound USD for me, with that break of structure, all I can see is buy opportunities down here. So like I said, maybe CPI can push us down and then you can buy it back up. That could be a nice little opportunity there. But I'm not really seeing anything right now for pound USD. I suppose pound USD is breaking above the resistance here. Possibly might use that to continue higher, but it's a similar kind of dilemma which we're in with Euro USD. Euro USD is breaking through those highs, retesting it. Again, possibly could see another move back to 1.08 up at those highs. But again, with the news coming out, we could possibly wick lower, take some people out first before moving to the upside. So I do think it's the safer option, probably to stay out of the market for now, and then see how we look like in a few hours time. But yeah, I would say I'm bullish for the meantime for pound USD and Euro USD and most dollar pairs as well. Anyway, so let me go take a look at oil, because oil was requested before. So I'll take a look at oil, and I'll go through silver as well. Silver, we'll take a look at gold, euro, yen as well. So yeah, if I have missed out any pairs, just drop it down in the chat and we'll take a look at it. And what is up? Please press the like button, much appreciated. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done already. It does really help out the channel. And yeah, guys, keeps you in the loop. So yeah, feel free to subscribe and drop a like, and also hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But first we'll go through oil, and then we'll go through silver. So oil is actually looking pretty bearish. We're rolling back over again, back down to the support level, which the market keeps rejecting. Again, silver we'll take a look at next. Oil in the higher time frame is still creating low lows and low highs. Still perfectly bearish structure. Sure, it's not the most flashy bearish structure in the world. It's kind of very, very choppy, and seeing quite a lot of consolidation actually. But the market's still making lower lows and lower highs, and we've got to respect that. And when we did move up to here, we said, as long as price holds that resistance, we're expecting the market to come back over. So we're looking for market to break through the support and push into these lows here. So that's still the main objective with oil. So looking for price to break through the support. We could be doing that now potentially. I'm not too sure. Obviously, this is not the best time to be looking to sell the market. Like I said, up here was the best time to look to sell oil. You would have caught a really nice move to the downside, back down to the lows, and you could probably just take your profit here and call it a day. Maybe leave some small positions to run to see if we can get to the lows here at 70, pretty much on the dot, 70.05, 70.5. But yeah, for oil, I'm definitely still bearish bias. So if you can get a break and retest of this level here, possibly there could be some sells for move back down lower. But I'm not interested in looking to buy oil. I know oil is at support, has rejected it quite a lot. But I want to be trading in favor of momentum, favor of market structure, which is still to the downside here. So for me, I'm only looking for oil to come further down. If it does start rejecting the support level, like it's done previously on the left, and starts to move up again, then all we're looking to do is for the market to find resistance again and come back down. If the resistance fails, then we can look to see what happens next and reanalyze the pair. But yeah, for oil, you want to see price break underneath this zone 73.50, start retesting it, and then possibly getting some sells here to the downside. Or option 2 is wait to see if you can get a bigger move up and then sell it back down. But the buys, I'm still not a big fan of. The market's still creating lower lows and lower highs. We're still seeing good bearish momentum as well with these drives to the downside. So I'm still looking at the market coming down to these lows and possibly even lower as well. So yeah, 2 options there. Either we get the bigger pullback then short, or we simply get the smaller break and retest of the level here, and then we look for push into the lows there. Either which way, I'm still expecting a lot more downside for oil. Okay, so we're going to take a look at silver now. So silver. Silver, someone said they're shorting silver, I think. Silver. Okay, so yeah, short silver. Yeah, I'm not really seeing shorts on silver at the moment. Yeah, I'm not really seeing shorts on silver at the moment. We've had this hectic move to the upside, breaking structure on the left. So for anything for silver, I would have to favor buys. We've had really nice bearish structure. The market's making lower lows and lower highs, as we can evidently see. However, since this last bearish move to the downside, the market's obviously had this big push up, and you can see broken through those price and highs there. So I have to favor buys. I have to favor buys for oil. Man, I always do that with the pairs I just looked at, or pairs I'm just about to look at. I always confuse the names for silver. So yeah, silver's breaking to the upside, breaking through those highs, and that's not what I want to see. You're seeing a break of structure there, and an impulsive one as well. It's not really half-hearted, or price is just kind of rolling over and breaking through the highs. Is doing it with a lot of momentum. Obviously, it was off the back of NFP, but it's the same thing. We're still seeing a really strong momentum breaking through highs. So the best thing I can see for silver at the moment is most likely probably see some downside for some correction, because obviously we just swept some new highs. We're probably testing into some areas of resistance and supply there on the left. So we're probably going to see some sellers come into the market, like yourself, looking to sell. But I do favor buys. I do favor buys for silver and more upside. A break and retest of this level could look good. Some areas down here as well. Got some consolidation down the hourly. That could look good for some buys here. Preferably that would be very nice there. Probably lines up with the 0.618 as well, the fib, or close anyway, between the 0.5 and 0.618 anyway. But yeah, those are the best 2 areas I can see for some opportunities on silver. In terms of bias, it is to the upside. We're breaking through that bearish structure, so I can't really favor the sells anymore. If they do, it's most likely just going to be retracement and be short-lived. We want price to give us those bigger moves in the market, and right now, based on that momentum, I would expect the bigger moves to be upside for silver. So if you are in sells, I do think it's most likely to be short term based on my analysis anyway. I could be wrong. But yeah, if you are short, looking to take profit around 21.29, 21.3, coming back down to these levels, makes a lot of sense. You know, taking profit there and possibly starting to look for some buys. You know, could be a nice way to play the market there. But if you are sell, you know, fair enough. Obviously, trade your plan, trade what you should be trading. But 21.3, 21.3, 21.4 looks like a great place to place your take profit and start to exit that trade, because the buyers are really coming back into this market here, and I suspect we're probably going to see more upside later in the week, maybe after CPI or maybe further down in the week. But I do favor more buys here for silver and gold as well. Gold's ripped to the upside. I do think we'll probably see some corrections here for gold, and possibly look for some more upside for both of them. Again, silver and gold very heavily correlated, and they pretty much move the same way. Again, you can see the way they moved is quite similar. Sometimes in terms of the strength and the distance of the moves are slightly different, and sometimes silver does the moves a little bit earlier to gold. I've noticed as well. But in terms of the direction, it's pretty much like for like. So with gold and silver, with both of them, I'm expecting some corrections. Both of them are quite overextended as well. You know, both sweeping some important highs. But I do expect them to find some support sooner or later and start continuing this bullish move higher. So what's this, 1880, 1890, around this parts here looks good for some buys for gold. And 21.3, 20.8, 20.9 looks good as well for silver. But yeah, in terms of bias and everything, especially for gold, we've had a really nice reaction of this key level, and simply for gold, we're just looking for a price to push back into that resistance, and then we can go from there, see what happens next. But this for me is a very, very important level. You know, this is where the market sold off very aggressively from. We've had a really nice retest of this level here, really nice bullish engulfing. Since then, the market's been pushing to the upside, so this is likely where gold is pushing towards. We could see gold push through and continue higher. Maybe the market's had this big reversal from the low here, create new highs, new higher low, possibly could see some new higher highs. So we could just storm straight through that level. But for now, we're going to treat it for what it is, which is still a pretty key level of resistance. So that's where I see gold heading towards. So hopefully you can get some nice correction and then the continuation into that level. But yeah, as for gold, definitely bullish bias for now. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at Euro Yen. As we requested a couple times, so we'll take a look at Euro Yen as well. Amaz looking at Euro Yen sells. Okay, we'll go and have a look, see what's happening with that one. Pound AUD, we'll take a look as well. Euro NZD, we'll have a look, see. Shake, I hope I'm saying that correctly. My sell on Nasdaq 11675. Can I wait or close the trade? Any idea? Okay, we'll take a look, see. I'm actually gonna go quickly, just get it out of the way. What was that? 11675, 11675, 11675. Let me go on the hourly chart. 11675. Okay. You sold 11675. My sell in Nasdaq 11675. 11675 is pretty much dead on. Literally the bottom of that move there. It's quite impressive actually to actually catch it right in the wick there, right on the low. Yeah, you probably want to exit that trade. If it's a sell, unless it's a buy. If it's a buy, it's a fantastic entry. If it's a buy, and you don't want to do the trade, if it's a buy down there, just move your stop loss to break even, take some profit off the table, and probably let it run, maybe back to that resistance there and see what happens. But if it's a buy, you take your profit, nothing much to do. It could go higher, so that's why you want to take profit out, move your stop loss to break even to protect any risk that you have on the table. If it's a sell, then you probably want to close the trade because it's most likely not playing out how you planned it to. So you probably want to close the trade if that's the case. So yeah, you probably want to close the trade. Okay, so let me go through USD, Pound AUD, Euro JPY first. Okay. So yeah, Euro JPY. So Euro JPY pushing up. Are the JPY pairs quite bullish? AJPY pushing up. Pound GN. Last time I saw that was pushing up. AJPY, CHF Yeah, the yen pairs are looking a little bit bullish. Yeah, yen pairs have been crazy. Huge move down. Looks like it's recovering most of it. Anyway, so Euro yen. Euro yen sold off quite aggressively to the downside. It took out these lows here, but again, these moves here are giving me fake out vibes, especially with the wicks there on the daily. So I'm kind of just waiting for things to develop here for the yen pairs and dollar pairs as well. We've had a really key resistance here, which looks like the market's getting a retest of. This big wick here to the downside was price trying to break through, and we pulled it all the way back up and closed just above the level. So yeah, it's not a good sign for sellers. If we can get a nice candle closure below, then yeah, continuation will look good for tomorrow. But the fact that we are closing above it, looks like the market's just had another retest of that zone there as well this morning, that big bullish candle. Euro yen to me looks like it's still holding that support. So some sells could look good, maybe further up, a retest of this structure here around 144.250. Thank you so much, Monu, for subscribing. I really do appreciate that. If you guys are joining the channel, by the way, and enjoying the stream, please be sure to subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And also check out the Telegram channel. I do have a link to that in the description below, and make sure you do use the link and don't search my name. Use the link if you want to check out the Telegram channel, link below. But yeah, Euro yen around 144.250 looks okay for some sales. Like I said, it's still holding that daily support, so it potentially could go a lot higher, back to these highs, maybe even further. But yes, we do have some bearish structure here on the lower time frames. You can see the market's had some equal highs up there. Since then, we've formed some lower highs as well and some lower lows as well. So there is some bearish structure here we can look to play with, but from the daily time frame, it doesn't look like it could last particularly too long. So coming back to some structure like this could be good. But yeah, you probably don't want to push it too far. I mean, subsequently, this looks like a good first target. So if you can see the market push up into the resistance here, probably find some nice sells, maybe on the 30-minute time frame, something like this. And then a nice sell into this level, take some profit, go break even. Then you probably take the rest of your profit back down here. This is like a good plan to have for Euro yen, because this respects the fact that, okay, the daily chart is holding on to 142, which is this big zone here. It respects the fact that the daily chart is holding on to that level of support, still respecting it, still respecting it, still rejecting it. So we don't want to be too greedy with our sells, but we can still take advantage of some sell opportunities. Like we said, the market has formed the equal highs up here, some lower highs. We can still look to play that bearish structure as well. And this is like a logical place to take some profit and probably go break even as well, just in case we end up doing something like this and going higher. It minimizes your risk there. So yeah, Euro yen shorts look okay on the lower time frames. Hourly, 30-minute. Probably want to look for entries on the 30-minute though, just to maximize that risk reward a little bit. But yeah, if you can see a nice rejection around there, good confirmation. I do like the shorts there, and possibly you can see a nice move back down to 142.700. Thank you so much, Lanre. Yeah, I'm saying that completely wrong. But thank you so much for subscribing. I do appreciate it. So yeah, 142.700 looks like a good place we can come into, and that looks like a good first take profit. 143.60. So keep an eye on this opportunity here. I do think we could probably squeeze in some nice shorts for Euro yen. But yeah, other yen pairs are a little bit more tricky. Pound yen a little bit more tricky as well. Those big wicks to the downside just don't look very, very welcoming for sellers. So yeah, especially with Euro yen, the shorts do look good, but I wouldn't push those trades too far. Anyway, so we'll take a look at Pound AUD and USD. No problem, Henrique. Yeah, learn lesson, focus, try again, 100%. That's it. All you have to do is keep going. Because the important thing is not necessarily having the funded account, because you can always get another one. But the skill set is an important thing, because you can't just always get another Forex skill set. See if you have this skill set or you don't. So That's the key thing you place your focus and your energy on. Obviously, it's a disappointment to lose the account, of course. Don't get me wrong, but if you still got the skill set, it's not too big of a deal, and you can definitely bounce back and continue from there. If the pound breaks out to the upside, where would we look for the next entry? I'm still focused on pound USD retesting 1.21. Not 1.21, sorry, 1.205. So I'm still looking at buying down there. I'm not really too keen on buying on this level here, since it's just a very shallow breakout, and especially with CPI coming in about an hour and wait, not an hour. It's actually sooner than that. Yeah, 43 minutes. About 45 minutes we've got this CPI. So be careful, because I think a few people might be in some trades. So it might be not the worst idea in the world to look to taking some profit on them. You don't have to exit trade completely, but you do want to minimize your risk. So if you're on profit, maybe you stop loss to break even if it hasn't got to your first targets yet. It's probably wise to do that. Maybe you stop loss to break even, especially on the lower time frames. Actually, if you're on the lower time frames, you might want to exit completely, because slippage could do some damage if it's going to be hectic. But yeah, if you're in a losing position like the NAS 100, yeah, you probably want to exit that, because yes, it could dump in your favor, but it could skyrocket against you and double the loss. So yeah, you do want to protect against that. But yeah, if we break to the upside, then on the lower time frames, I suggest what you're talking about. Then obviously a retest of the prior high. If the market can maintain this bullish structure, you can see the higher highs and higher lows printing here. If we can see another explosive move to the upside, then 1.22 becomes the next logical place to start looking for some entries and possibly continue that move to the upside. So keep an eye on 1.22. If you can break through that, it has to be a nice impulsive break, not some wicks here to the upside. It needs to be a good strong break for it to be a quality breakout, and then we can look to follow that momentum. But yeah, 1.22 is probably the next logical place to look for some entries. I'm still focused a little bit down here, but we will have to see. Again, CPI may not even push us up. It could push us down. Anyway, so let me take a look at pound AUD and Euro NZD. USD CAD we'll take a look at as well. No problem. I was just about to go and try and say your name there, but I think I'm going to pass on that one, because yeah, it's a little bit tricky. But yeah, USD CAD I'll take a look. Pound AUD, where are you? There you are. Okay, so pound AUD, did you say have a bias for that one, or just me to look at pound AUD? Okay, so yeah, I'll take a look, and USD next. So pound AUD, this one has hit that resistance here. So I was looking for price to come to the resistance. Unfortunately, I just have not been able to actually take advantage of any of the buys here for pound AUD. Ever since we started creating these higher highs and higher lows, I've been looking for some retracements. Again, I did miss this opportunity here. This was a good opportunity. I can't remember why I missed it. Yeah, I can't remember why I missed it. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I didn't actually take advantage of any of these buys. Again, there only was one entry, which would have been here. I was looking for a pullback into this structure, never got it. And once we start breaking through the resistance here, we obviously never got a retest of that level there either. So yeah, I did miss that. I can't remember why. But anyway, the market's at the resistance 1.82. Possibly there might be some downside. Again, it's not really my type of trade. The market here is still displaying a lot of bullish momentum. Yes, we might sell off from this resistance, but I'm more of a trend type of guy. So this is never really a sell that I would look to take in my trading. Not that it won't work. The market rejects resistance and support all the time, but it's just not a type of trade that I would look to take. So with pound AUD, I do think we'll probably get some nice short-term buys, because this is still a strong level we have to respect. But this is still a nice level of resistance. Market broke through with good momentum, no retest. If we could see some downside, price react to that bigger level, come into this level, possibly get some nice buys back to where we came from and take a profit like so. So I do think this could be a nice little buy idea if we can come to the downside like this for pound AUD. there's some higher lows connecting up quite nicely there as well. So I do like this little buy there around 1.8, even a really big psychological level there as well. So yeah, keep an eye on 1.8 for pound AUD. If you can see some nice downside and retest that level, get some good entries, I do think we'll probably get some nice buys there to the upside. But yeah, I'm not keen on the sells. I'm not keen on the sells. I think probably the market will reject it, but like I said, it's just not the type of style of trade that I look to take in my trading. Anyway, so we'll take a look at Euro NZD as well. We've got a few minutes left of the stream. So if there's any last minute page you want to take a look at, just jump it down in the comment section and we'll take a look. But Euro NZD I'll take a look at first. NZD USD ZARC we'll take a look at as well. Okay, so Euro NZD, where are you? Okay, so Euro NZD, wow, those are some really bad wicks there to the downside. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Euro NZD, the market's still creating higher highs and higher lows, quite surprisingly to be fair, because it's been very corrective. I'm expecting it to roll over. It's still been pushed into the upside. But anyway, so Euro NZD, some nice wicks to the downside. I did talk about buys down here, didn't really get the test of that level. The market's formed some resistance here, is having a hard time breaking through. I might actually be some short, some sells here. It's a little bit aggressive because it's counter trend. But because it's so corrective, we're seeing such exaggerated wicks here to the downside. I'm struggling to see how the trend can continue. It's just really exhausted here. So I do feel we probably will roll over. So some aggressive sells around 1.72, 700. And not bad if you can get some good confirmations around there. It's aggressive because the trend is still up. We haven't broken through any structure yet. But I don't really like the buys unless we break back above the resistance here. We could possibly see a retest back to these highs, maybe on like the 30-minute or maybe even 50-minute time frame. Something like this could be a nice little short-term buy. All we're looking to do is play that resistance there, maintain the bullish momentum that we're seeing, and just trade it back to where we came from. Or we might potentially roll back over, come and get a deeper retest, which is what I expect is the more likely outcome for Euro NZD. So the only way I'll look to buy this one, thank you so much, Alton, for subscribing. The only way I'll look to buy this one is if we can break through 1.72, get the retest, and then the buys into that resistance there, or if we can get the sell-off back into those levels and go counter trend. And again, counter trend is obviously more aggressive, it's more risky, but sometimes it can be really good trades, especially if you catch it right where it starts to formulate that next lower high. If it is a reversal, you could really be in for a really nice winner if you look to trail your stops or just leave positions to run. But anyway, so Euro NZD, this is kind of the best two setups I can see. If you want to stick with the trend and keep going, then you probably do want to see the market pop back above 1.72 800. If not, there might be some nice sells if you can reject that level. So yeah, that's the best I can see for Euro NZD. I'm not the biggest fan of the market structure right now for this pair. It's not really something I'm looking at, but that's the best I've got for that one. Anyway, so I'll go for USD CAD next. Euro USD, Abdul will take a look as well, no problem. USD CHF can buy for swing trade. Okay, I'll take a look at that one as well. I haven't actually gone through USD CHF on the stream yet. Can you analyze Euro USD? Okay, I'll take a look at Euro USD now. So yeah, I'll do USD CAD, Euro USD, USD CAD, Euro USD, Euro Pound, USD CHF. Then we'll finish on gold. Finish on SD CAD. So I'll go through some 5 pairs in about 5 minutes or so. Anyway, so we'll start with Euro USD. Euro USD, where are you? There you are. So yeah, Euro USD is actually having the break and retest of that high there. So Euro USD immediately looking off the bat, we've broken through bearish structure. I'm no longer looking for sells for this one anymore. We're actually having a successful retest, of the high of the bearish structure, throwing some nice wicks to the downside. So Euro USD, I favor more upside. I favor price to come back into the resistance here, and probably back into the resistance up here around 1.07800. So all I can see for this one is more upside. We've got CPI coming out. I'm not too sure what happened there. We might dump, we might fly. But from a technical standpoint, all I can see is more upside and a push back into that resistance 1.07800. So yeah, the Euro USD buys look good, but again, watch out for the news. Euro pound, we're actually having a retest of the support. I was looking at buys coming into the week, however they failed. We broke to the downside, and now I do expect the market to probably continue south as long as we can hold this as resistance. This was the support I was wanting to buy from, but now it's actually resistance and likely to send the market back down if you can see a big rejection. On the 30-minute, we're not really getting much there. Hourly, not getting much either, but if you can see some nice bearish candlestick patterns coming in, that could be some really nice entries to go short and take advantage of another sell-off to the downside for Euro pound and back down to 0.876, because this was one support, looking for the market structure to continue. That's now breaking through, so we've probably got a greater chance of the market returning back down to 0.876 than going bullish. So some sales look good there for Euro pound on the retest of that structure. Looking for another move to the downside there. So Euro pound actually favors some short-term sells for the time being. We'll take a look at USD next. So USD, you're looking for some buys. Okay, so USD coming back to these lows here. I wouldn't look to buy this one because the market is very, very, very bearish here for this this push here to the downside. And yes, we are coming back to those lows, but again, I'm looking to buy structure where the market's creating higher highs and higher lows, and I'm looking to follow momentum. I don't want to be looking to start my own momentum. Not that we can't reject this and see some upside. It's just not high probability. Trades like where we got the bullish structure and we got the retest of some structure, and then we were buying within bullish moves or bearish swings. Those are much more probable. When we're trying to catch reversals here, it's a little bit more difficult. So if it fits your plan, do your thing. Stop loss below, but yeah, it's a little bit more of a risky trade. So I'm not really seeing any clear-cut opportunities here for USD at the moment. USD CAD, let me go take a look for this one. So yeah, USD CAD coming into the week. This is another pair on my watch list coming into the week. Looking for a retest of 1.365. As you can see, looking for a retest of this level to go bullish. It hasn't quite come into the level yet. I'm still looking for the price to come back into that level, and then I'll start looking for some entries to go long. But right now it's kind of just hovering, above there. So I need to wait for a little bit more downside before I start looking USD CAD more closely and start looking for some entries. But I'm still looking at something like this to happen for USD CAD. Again, targets probably back to highs. I do suspect us eventually to come back into the resistance up here. Yeah, in terms of just trading, it's probably more sensible just to take the profit up at that resistance and then call it a day around 1.385. So this is still what I'm looking at for USD CAD. I do like the correction. It's nice and healthy, nice impulse, nice corrected movement, nice corrected behavior there. And then we can start looking at some longs here around 1.365. So USD CAD still looks good. We'll keep an eye out. We'll see what the news does in about half an hour's time as well. But yeah, still pretty bullish on USD CAD. I'll take a look at S&P and NZD CAD to round it up. So US 500 still looking at sells, 39.80 still where I'm looking at a move to downside from. We're getting consistent lower highs as we can see. I'm still looking at US 500 coming back down to these lows. So that's still the overall bias for US 500, but we do want to see a correction first. And I'm looking at a retest of this range here and then the sell-off. So hopefully we can see a move to the upside. Maybe the news could send price up and then we can start looking for some entries for a sell later in the week. But consistent lower highs, as long as we can maintain that structure, we're looking at push back down to where we came from, 38.40, and then into 35.60, which is the daily, weekly lows. And last but not least, NZD CAD. NZD CAD is actually trading at a really nice area. If we could double top for NZD CAD, I'll actually start looking for some entries for this one. I wasn't too sure if we're going to see a push into this area for NZD CAD this week. But yeah, the market's done it the first day of the week, which is surprising. So if NZD CAD can start rejecting this level here, get another second retest, I'll actually start looking for some entries, lots above the zone. And target wise, I probably won't be too greedy with targets. Maybe at best these lows here, but I may just look to call it a day back into some resistance here if I can get a 1 to 3. If not, then I'll push it into these lows. But yeah, NZD CAD, I like where it's at. We're still forming these major lower highs. We did see a lot of momentum come from this big move here, or corrective behavior. So I'm looking for push up into that zone and then another sell off back down to these lows. So yeah, NZD CAD still looks pretty good. I still like NZD CAD. So yeah, if you can get another stab into those highs, reject it, we'll look for some entry confirmations to take it lower. Maybe CPI can push us up one more time and then we get the sales. But yeah, guys, that kind of wraps up the stream. So yeah, for me, there's nothing really that looks good right now. I'm kind of waiting for CPI to do its thing, and then I'll probably reanalyze the pair, reanalyze a lot of my pairs in my watch list again, and see kind of how things settle and how things plan out. But yeah, I'm still looking at a few pairs coming into the week, like AUSD, which is still kind of trading near the area. As the CAD, I'll probably look to add this to my watch list as well. Euro pound, not really looking at. Euro USD pound, usually they're kind of broken through some of the levels that I'm looking to sell from. So I'm kind of just waiting to see how they continue. I still think eventually they'll probably start looking to roll back over, but yeah, I need to be patient for that. So yeah, guys, we do have news coming out in about half an hour, so be careful if you guys are in trade. Like I said, look to manage your risk. That's the number one, that's the number one thing you want to be focused on. Not necessarily making money. Making money can be done later on where things are less risky, where we don't have news. But yeah, CPI could cause some fireworks, so do watch out for that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. I really do appreciate you guys coming to the stream. Everyone who's subscribed, everyone who's liked, I really do appreciate that. If you are new, feel free to check out the Telegram, link in the description down below. I'll be posting, trade opportunities. So if I do get anything today, I'll let you know on there. Do you have? No, I do not have a VIP Telegram. I've just got a normal Telegram. So make sure you use the link to the Telegram. And don't search my name out, because there are some fake Telegrams using my name, which are scamming people. So make sure you just use the link. It's on the top of the chat as well. So yeah, feel free to check out the Telegram if you want to, and if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets at the top of the chat. If you are looking for a broker, feel free to use the link if you want to. But yeah, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Much as always, thank you so much for moderating. I really do appreciate. Look forward to tomorrow after things settle with CPI. It should be interesting. Hopefully, you can get some trades tomorrow as well. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.